Can you squeeze by?
You forgot your iPad.
Welcome everybody, episode 2 of Whatever Man. We are here with Sal Styles, yours truly.
Manny Beeson.
JD Angel.
Yeah, you didn't cut him off this time.
I did.
You thought about it?
No, I cut him off because I wasn't done talking.
This is what happened.
No,
I
didn't realize you were done.
I didn't do it intentionally. He was a dick.
I was fully expecting
Sure.
nobody asked you. Or something like that.
That's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah, for sure. So what are we talking about today, guys?
So there's a lot of stuff going on.
Wait, real quick, before we do that. So, Buddy and Molly.
Can't see Molly.
Can't really see her.
There she is.
Here every single time. That's what's up.
White shoes.
They're here last time too, but
We call her thumbs.
There it is.
no, we don't. We don't call her thumbs.
I call her thumbs because she has 3 thumbs on each paw. Well, her front paws. You get what I'm saying.
I'm so mad.
So we got a lot of stuff to
Just
cover
staring
today.
at him.
So one of the big topics that's coming up is WrestleMania's up this weekend.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. We were like, oh, save it for the podcast.
Yeah, we were trying to make sure we don't get everything out at once. But there's a lot going on. There's a lot of things that are being discussed and a lot of matches to actually talk about.
Oh, yeah. One of the big things that just came up that I found out, I think it was earlier today, what Roman Reigns pulling out of the match with Goldberg. I mean, who was excited for that match anyway? I wasn't.
Not me.
I wasn't at all. I think the WWE is making a lot of mistakes. I think that their thought process on everything right now is that they want to throw a curveball at the fans to be like, oh, they're not going to do this, but they're doing the wrong type of things that we don't expect them to do. But let's be real. A lot of us expected them to do gimmick matches like this where they're trying to use Goldberg to put Roman Reigns over when Roman Reigns doesn't need to be put over.
He's already been put over.
He is the face of the WWE.
Even if Vince McMahon's going to be pissed off at him for doing this, what's best for his family, by the way, I think, because of the whole epidemic and everything going on right now, and next thing you know, Vince is going to be upset about it, but he's not going to fire him. Like, what do you think, Justin?
He's not going to fire him. He's the face of the company right now, so it's just like, I understand like the reasonings why he pulled out of WrestleMania, like partially because like he had leukemia, and like he'd be more vulnerable to that, and like if he caught the virus, then he would be more in danger because of that. So I understand that, but like the way to go back to how like the match was set up, like no one cares about Roman. No one cares. Well, people do, but
They do.
But
as much as we don't
majority
want to
opinion, and also, but Goldberg is like he's not going to be the way to put Roman over because Goldberg should be retired right now.
Yeah.
If
It's his
anything,
name. WrestleMania.
if anything, they should have used Goldberg to put over the Fiend, because the Fiend was already pretty much over with the fans. The fans fucking love the Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
And
you do him dirty by making him lose like that.
Why would you make him lose to Goldberg? Like, you just decimated his entire character
The
that you
Fiend-
built up. You built up for months just to make him as badass as possible. The Fiend is what today's world would be our Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
Our Undertaker
Accurate.
was
Accurate.
the frickin' man. The Fiend, it's hard, man, because like he was such a good character that they were building up with, and like it's not like they needed to like fix the character, because I mean Bray Wyatt, sorry,
Cool.
Bray Wyatt, I can't even say his name because it's been so long since he's gone by.
Bubba Ray Dudley.
Fail Friday. Can't wait for that. Manny, every single time Manny makes a mistake on grammar, I'll just collaborate them all. and put them in one video.
I watch it.
I'm just like,
Because he did it like 3 or 4 times in the last video.
I did.
That's a great idea.
You're in trouble now. But Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt was already great on the microphone when he had to set promos. So it's not like they needed to fix that. I honestly didn't think they needed to do anything with his character for what he was. But then they kind of ruined his character with the whole Matt Hardy thing, the woken Matt Hardy.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, it was dumb. I mean, Bray Wyatt already had his own clique. Like, he had his own family. I don't understand why they really messed with him. And, I mean, they did something great with The Fiend. The Fiend was great. He didn't talk a lot as The Fiend. He did most of his talking as Bray Wyatt, which is almost very similar to what a Finn Balor does when he goes to his demon mode. But
Love that, by the way.
yeah, well, I think they did Finn Balor dirty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they did. He should
because-
have had way more opportunities in the main card.
Yeah, just because he got hurt, I mean, that's gonna happen to anybody. I mean, look at Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins got hurt, and he came back, and they tried to put him down, but
Nope. People like him.
people liked him, and people love Finn Balor too. But they refused to give him the same kind of opportunities because it was always Seth Rollins in the main events with Roman Reigns. Then Dean Ambrose had his time. He left the company. He went to AEW, and now he's Jon Moxley, and he's the AEW champion.
Oh, is he?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't
beat Chris
catch
Jericho.
that.
yeah. He
That was
beat.
recent then, right?
Yeah, it was very recent, and now he's in a feud with somebody else. I don't remember. I don't watch too much AEW. I think it's
Giant.
good, but it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch that stuff right now due to the fact that there's no audience. So it's not as
Yeah.
electrifying as we're used
Yeah.
to.
Like Matt Hardy ended up debuting on there, and there's just no audience. And Luke Harper debuted on AEW too.
Yeah, I heard Vince was furious with the whole gimmick that they pulled with him because they kind of made it seem like he was pretending to be Vince, almost in a way.
Like mocking him.
Yeah, like mocking Vince McMahon.
How ironic.
And I'm like, Vince, concentrate on the XFL because that needs to be put back to what it started in the beginning of the season. I liked it. And let Triple H and Stephanie and Shane run WWE.
Yes.
Because they are going to do what's best for business. Not these stupid gimmick matches where you bring back The Undertaker, where you bring back Goldberg. Like, you don't even have Kane fighting anymore.
Like, why is Undertaker even back in WrestleMania? Like, he put up his robe a couple years ago.
How many times are you going to
Roman
make him
Reigns.
retire?
Right?
He retired like how many years
He
since
lost
Brock
to
Lesnar?
Brock. And then
It's stupid. Like, you probably have Shawn Michaels like, what the hell? Tried to put that guy away so many times, and you guys just keep bringing him back. For what?
There's no point now.
That's a name.
The fans love hearing his music, but the performance is shitty.
The rest of
Every
the matches
time.
suck.
It's not good.
Every time.
Not 10
But
years
to get
ago.
back to Bray Wyatt,
Say his name right?
I did. Bray Wyatt,
I can't think about that.
I feel that they should have let Bray Wyatt beat Goldberg, and that would have continued the push of his character, and then you could have brought in Roman, and they could have been the two of them at WrestleMania, and I would have dug that.
I would have liked that.
I would have dug that. I would have been fine with that.
That would have been such a
There's
better match.
plenty of other competitors in the roster that you could probably put against Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. But let's face it, the hottest, as much as the fans hate him, the hottest wrestler right now is Roman Reigns.
Easily.
Easily.
He's got the most hype. He's got the most traction. He's filling seats just by being there, and people get pumped when they see him. You know, like him or not, like he's a good guy. On top of that, you know. So I mean, this action that he's doing right now and just being home, being there for his family instead of doing WrestleMania, you know, just to be safe. I mean, that speaks a lot, you know, for somebody and their character.
Yeah, he's basically today's John Cena right now. So
There's always a face. There's always
always a
one
face.
face. Yeah.
Yeah, and they tried to do that with Seth Rollins while Roman Reigns was gone battling leukemia. But even Seth Rollins' character took a huge snowdive with the fans because he was just two-faced.
he's more like today's, like, in my opinion, like, I guess Randy Orton as like the heel, and like now how like Roman is to John Cena.
Well, I want to say one thing. Don't you ever compare Seth Rollins to Randy Orton. Randy Orton is the fucking man. You
I
watch your
wasn't
fucking
comparing them in that way.
About to get hostile in here.
Wasn't that way.
This guy.
I meant as like
Fucking kid.
heel.
Whatever, man.
No, because
Don't
the
understand.
heel version of Randy Orton, I feel, is more deadly than the heel version of Seth Rollins.
I'm not talking about their characters.
Because Seth Rollins is more corporate as a heel.
Yeah.
Even with his whole
Monday Night Messiah thing
Monday
going on
Night
right now.
Messiah thing, like
Love
he
it,
has
by the
he
way.
has this whole group that he commands.
Love it.
And it's great, don't get me wrong, but it's completely different. Whereas Randy Orton, as a heel, he'll just come out of nowhere and attack you. And he didn't have anybody to have his back. He didn't mess with nobody. And if he did it very briefly, and he would turn on him quick.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, like Edge.
Yeah. So, I'm looking up here on my Mac why Roman Reigns officially got out of it. He says, for years now, man, people have been like, don't show up to WrestleMania. We don't want you in it. You know what I mean? Reigns said in a video. There's a nice handful of dudes and haters that didn't want me there. But the moment I make a choice for me and my family, I'm a coward. I'm a sissy. But you don't know the whole story. Sorry. You don't know what else is going on in my life, he explained. You don't know if I have a newborn. You don't know if I have family in my household, older family. So yeah, I mean, just like the old saying, go and flip that cover open and read a few pages. Get into a few chapters before you really start running your mouth.
I saw the video.
Yeah, I saw the video too. And essentially what he's saying, or at least the way I'm interpreting it, is he has family at home and he doesn't want to run the risk of bringing the coronavirus to his house or any other sickness that he gets during his travels.
Yeah.
Because as wrestlers, he's a high profile wrestler on the roster. So more than likely in his contract, it's included that they probably pay for his travel. Whereas there's a lot of low level wrestlers that have to pay for their own travel from city to city for them to compete. But Roman Reigns, being a high profile athlete on the roster, they probably pay for that stuff. But at the same time, just because they pay for it doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be the best decision for him. It's always going to be safe for him. Like, he has a lot of things going on at home probably that we don't know about. And he doesn't want that to come back to his family. But at the same time, I personally feel like even if this wasn't going on, I would feel like Roman should want nothing to do with a match at WrestleMania versus Goldberg. Especially at this time. If it was 2005, maybe.
Yeah,
When
because,
Goldberg
15 years ago,
relevant.
he could still wrestle.
15 years ago, fucking Goldberg was the man still.
Yeah.
But now, what's the point? Like, his entire beard is gray!
Mm-hmm. It's true.
What's the point?
Everyone knew Roman would have won, and if
Oh,
Roman,
yeah, it was too predictable.
for some reason didn't win, no one would have cared if Goldberg won. Like,
Yeah, it's just like no big
it's
deal.
like, what's the really?
He's only there because it's WrestleMania, it's the biggest pay-per-view of the year, so they want the biggest names that's ever been and that's still alive.
It's just not how it should be.
No, not at all. I bet you if Randy Savage was still alive, they would try to have him on there.
Probably. That's my
Easily.
dream.
Trying to get him to do elbow drops from the top rope. Like, come on. Come on,
Probably.
man. Whatever,
I
man.
mean,
Whatever, man.
I mean, the creative team, they just need a lot of work. There's no reason they should be doing any of this storyline. Some of these storylines are just stupid. Like, I'm super annoyed with the storyline with Rusev's wife in real life. It's his wife in real life, Lana, with Bobby Lashley.
That's just messed up.
That's just stupid.
That's just corny.
And,
it's corny.
And you know what? It sucks for them more because they know that if they don't go along with it, their contracts would be done. Because they have no other storylines for them, and they're like, you either do this or you split. And yeah, you could say, well, he'll go to AEW. AEW is great, but their ratings are not WWE's ratings.
Yeah, they're not there yet.
The ratings
starting, yeah.
The ratings are for WWE aren't amazing either, but they have been the only franchise for top entertainment wrestling for the longest time. Like, yes, I get it. There's going to be a lot of haters who listen to this and are going to say, well, I'm not a real wrestling fan because I don't know about New Japan wrestling. What other wrestling?
TNA.
Ring of Honor.
Cats.
I get all that stuff. You know, I get it that there's those other companies there, but here in the U.S., we don't really know about that stuff. I mean, you really have to dig into...
Yeah, they're very underground, but they're so amazing, but that's where a lot of these competitors go to. Like, WWE is the big league. WWE is like the NFL, whereas all these smaller, like, minor divisions are like the college, you know? So, I mean, that's kind of where I go with that, to be honest with you. I mean, speaking of NFL, Tom Brady to the Bucs. How do you feel about that, Justin? Patriots fan. Wearing his Tom Brady signed Patriots hat.
Is it
Tom?
Signed by Tom Brady?
It's not by Tom
officially,
Brady.
it's
It's
just
stitched.
Yeah,
Oh.
still cool.
I wish it was. So my stance on that is good for Tom Brady because I don't have any hate towards him. He brought the Patriots 6 championships. To people like the Patriots fans that are hating on Tom Brady, screw them. Because
Why would they hate on Tom Brady? Like, I don't even know.
no, I've seen people that are mad at Tom Brady
Why?
because of it. Like, I don't yeah, he should I wish he stayed in New England and retired as a Patriot.
He still
but-
will. He will.
I wouldn't be surprised if he signs
he'll-
a
one-day contract.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'll do a one-day contract and he'll just retire as a
yeah,
Patriot.
that's most likely.
But
But
would
the-
you say that you think that he went to the Buccaneers because he did his time, he got his rings, and he's gonna retire soon? So let's get the most money I can for the next couple years, and then retire with as much money as I
I
can
think
pocket.
that's one of the main reasons. I think another reason that there was beef between him and Belichick, and there's he didn't get the weapons that he needed and all that, which because it's the Patriots way. They're not gonna pay a bunch of money for some people.
Bill Belichick is
So-
the head coach, but the GM.
And Bill tried to trade away Tom Brady from what I've heard. Or they're not 100% rumors, but they're basically what people are saying happened, analysts and all that.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
he tried it when Garoppolo was there because Garoppolo was supposed to be the future.
Be the guy,
Jimmy
G.
And Brady didn't like that, apparently, and then stuff happened. But yeah, Brady should be able to do whatever he wants to do. I'll cheer him on. He's still one of my favorite players of all time. So, if not my favorite player of all time, my other favorite player of all time is Randy Moss.
Apparently nobody knew my favorite player of all time was Tony Romo. Apparently nobody knew that.
To be fair, why would anybody's favorite player be Tony Romo?
He got me reignited into football when he came off the bench so many years ago to replace Drew Bledsoe. During
Drew
that game
Bledsoe's
against
always
the
getting
Giants.
replaced.
I know, poor Drew Bledsoe. But I like the Cowboys because I've always liked the Cowboys, but I didn't really watch football, really. I was more of a basketball fan. And then one day I'm watching them, oh, Cowboys are on. I love the Cowboys. And I'm watching Quincy Carter play, and he's not doing well. Then they pick up Vinny Testaverde, and they do that, and they go to Drew Bledsoe. And then finally, Tony Romo comes in. I'm like, okay, so we got this young guy, is not too old, at the time, Drew Bledsoe, Vinny Testaverde. And he sparked a new thing. His first, drive, he threw an interception, no big deal. But he had such
I knew you were going to say that.
whatever, man. So such an incredible game. that game, and I just feel that he was done dirty, unfortunately. Like, he didn't, same thing like Tom Brady. He didn't get the weapons put around him, and if they did do that, like, as much as they could have, I think that they would have won a championship. But, Jason Garrett being the coach at the time, it's not really the best, not really the best coach that supported him during his prime, So Justin's got this face right now.
Hey, I think Manny has something to say.
I just want to say that the whole weapons thing, I think he didn't have it the whole time he was there, but towards the end of his time, which when the Cowboys decided to step away from him because they realized once they did get a good team around him and he still wasn't able to produce in the playoffs, they were like, this guy's not our guy.
I wouldn't say that entirely.
I would.
I wouldn't say that entirely. I'm thinking more of his.
I definitely would.
He's got to have his prime. He's getting to the point where he's getting too injured.
The most expensive and best offensive line in the NFL.
For 1 year.
No.
With DeMarco
Murray, when DeMarco Murray was there,
that was the first year they had their best offensive line. They stacked him up. It took years to get there. Finally got there with DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray left the year after, and then they didn't get Zeke right away.
No. You guys didn't have a running back for a couple years.
Yeah. And then they got Zeke, and then it was just too late by then.
Yeah, because it was going to be Zeke and Tony Romo, and then Tony Romo got hurt in the preseason, and then Dak took over, and that was all she wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony Romo was good, but he was not the quarterback for a franchise to lead them to a Super Bowl.
I think he could have been. I think he could have been.
I personally think he's a much better broadcaster than he is a football player.
I think anyone...
broadcaster.
I can definitely agree he is a great broadcaster. He's my favorite broadcaster right now.
Of all time. He's the best broadcaster of all time. I'm just thinking, like, if they had a better defense, they had more weapons there, then they can support him there. They put a lot of weight on his shoulders.
That's so good. Huh? I was saying that's so caught. I was expecting you to say something like that.
What?
Dad still caught it.
He did. He did catch it. Dez definitely caught it.
I just shook my head no, because I know some people are not going to be able to watch this video, just listening. But as stated in the last video, I am a Jets fan, so I don't have a lot of room to talk. Recently, I got into like this debate with another Jets fan on Bleacher Report.
I heard about this one.
And I was just trying to help him understand, like, he was super optimistic. No, I'm not saying Jets fans don't have anything to not be optimistic for. I get it. The team is going in the right direction, I feel. Besides our coach is hot garbage. He did awful.
Hey.
He did awful with the Bears, and he did awful with Miami.
Shiloh.
And his first season with the Jets was just not anything to be excited about or write home about. They did a lot this offseason with our offensive line. $40 million invested into the offensive line per year.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
They better produce.
They
better be
produce.
The best offensive line in the NFL.
The guy in me had he started talking about that, Jets fans should be optimistic, and Jets fans like me are the reason why Jets fans get a bad rep, because we're so negative all the time on the team. And I'm like, I'm negative on the team because that's what we've seen for 10 years now. It's 2020. The last time the Jets were relevant was in 2010.
Yeah, when you guys needed a quarterback, you didn't sign a quarterback.
Yeah,
y'all didn't sign a quarterback.
We didn't sign a quarterback. And then today I found out that we signed to a 1-year deal the backup quarterback that was technically a third-string quarterback last year. Flack. Something Flack.
Was it Nick?
No, I think.
I don't know. It's not even important.
It's so irrelevant.
It's so irrelevant. The guy was just awful. Like, he couldn't do nothing with our team. He couldn't get any. He never got one touchdown pass. In 4 starts, he didn't get one touchdown pass.
That's sad. That is sad. Who'd you guys pass up on to get, when you needed a quarterback and you didn't draft a quarterback, instead you drafted some other people?
By a lot of people. A lot of quarterbacks.
Pat Mahomes, I think, was on there. Deshaun Watson, I think, was on there.
Yeah. We had the opportunity to draft Deshaun Watson, and we also had the opportunity to draft Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson. And we didn't draft him. And the guy said to me, "Oh, you're ignorant because Lamar Jackson is not even a good quarterback. He's the product. He's the product. He's the product of that system." I was like, "Are you serious right now?"
A system that wasn't even
system that wasn't even made for a scrambling quarterback the
Joe
year
Flacco.
prior to him being there, because Joe Flacco was a freaking pocket quarterback. Yeah, I know they can revamp their offense, but not to fine-tune it that fast in a one-year turnaround to get it where he wins an MVP. Like, if they had a scrambling quarterback prior to that, then I would understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would 100% understand, but they did not have that.
No.
And
Joe Flacco was not a scrambling quarterback.
And to say that he's the product of the system, that kid was the only one that showed up to play when they lost in the AFC championship game.
It was the Titans, right?
It was a divisional.
It was the divisional game. I'm sorry, because it was the wild card, then the divisional. Yeah.
It was to the Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did lose. No.
Yeah, it was the Titans.
Yeah, it was the Titans.
Because the Titans beat them, and then they faced the Kansas City Chiefs.
No, the Titans beat the Patriots.
They beat the Patriots first.
The Titans won 2 games.
Because we were in the wild card round.
Oh, you guys were in the wild card?
The Patriots lost in the wild card.
Oh.
They lost in the wild card.
Not a good year.
To the Titans.
To the Titans.
Color me impressed.
And then the Titans went, and then everyone thought the Ravens were going to stomp on them. And then the Titans stomped on them. And then everyone's like, oh my God, are the Titans going to show up to the Chiefs?
I was like,
and they had a good start.
Nope, the Chiefs just had they just did every single game. Like, the last 6 games of the year,
Came back.
they just were down by some absurd amount of points, and they just come back and win. The Chiefs were just disgusting.
Another thing that guy said to me was that we are lucky that we got to draft Sam Darnold in the spot that we had. And I was like, are you serious, bro?
No, man.
Because Sam Darnold, I don't even think was a top 15 pick.
You could probably get him undrafted.
Well, I don't think he would have gone. I don't think he would have gone undrafted, but I do believe that he would have been available in the second round. I personally believe that, and even now his numbers, they've reanalyzed the draft, and he is not worth the pick that we picked him at.
I think he'll have a better year next year.
I feel like in Madden, it would have been Madden would have said we reached. If anybody's ever done a fantasy draft in Madden, they know what I'm talking about. Because Madden will tell you reached. Legit. It says reached.
It's like, you suck. Scrub.
Disrespect.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, man, I'm
too early.
I'm trying to think in my... Oh, hi, Aries.
All the animals are here.
I'm trying to think in my head, this guy is... He's being ignorant. Pretending everything's going to be okay. One thing. I never said that we were going to continue losing. But I don't like the direction that the team is going with our head coach. Our head coach is awful. And the head coach has control pretty much over everything besides...
Adam Gase?
Yeah, Adam Gase. He's awful. I don't like him.
I think he's underrated.
You think he's underrated?
I want to see his reaction.
You know what your problem is? You're a Cowboys fan.
Hey.
You want to know what the Cowboys' problem is?
You know what the Cowboys got? Greg the Leg. Yes, Greg Zerline going to the Cowboys. So now we have Kai Forbath and Greg the Leg. I don't know what we're going to do about that.
Well, hopefully in 4 years when they see the Jets again, they'll actually be able to beat a team that's not good.
We let go of Steven Gostkowski.
So you're saying the Jets are still not going to be good in 4 years?
There's a lot of potential that they will not be a good team in 4 years.
There's a lot of potential.
I mean...
You're such a negative Jets fan. Shout out to that guy in the Bleacher Report comments.
Yeah, that...
Shout out to that guy.
I didn't curse at him. I didn't say obnoxious things. I didn't call him names. I just told him straight up how I felt. I was like, listen... I've been a Jets fan since I was 12. I've been watching the Jets since they had Vinny Testaverde before he was on the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. And they have not been good for a long time.
Say
We had
again?
a lot of potential with Chad Pennington, and Chad Pennington got hurt, and then he wasn't the same afterwards. And then we got Mark Sanchez, and things looked like they were going to be good, and then he butt fumbled.
Great
Never
game.
recovered.
And then we drafted
Never forget.
Geno Smith, and I was like, oh man, we might actually have a decent quarterback. Nope, not
Nope.
even in the slightest.
Trash.
He coming from college, he did a lot of work with his feet
Just never
in the
showed up.
games, but the plan for the offense was not around a scrambling quarterback, so he never got to do any of that. He was discouraged from doing that, so he didn't really get to show us anything, but I feel like he wouldn't have had anything to show us regardless because he was not an NFL level quarterback.
He just threw a lot of picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is he now?
He was on the Giants last year.
That's right, he was. He
Might
was
still
back.
be on the
Yeah, he was the
He's
backup.
probably still
To
back.
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones. That guy.
But yeah, I mean, I think I like the moves that we made on the offensive line. I want to see Le'Veon Bell do better in the backfield. I want Sam to make better decisions because he can throw the ball, but that boy makes some crazy passes sometimes that I feel like he thinks he's Aaron Rodgers and he is not. 100%.
There is no Aaron Rodgers.
There is no
except for
other Aaron Rodgers.
Even Aaron Rodgers doesn't show up as Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron.
But yeah, and then that was pretty much it for that guy from the Bleacher Report. I didn't really respond after that because I didn't feel that I needed to take the conversation any further.
No. Sometimes it's
But
not worth
like Justin has it worse than all of us. I mean, our teams
it.
realistically, Sal has it the worst
I have
out
it
of
the
all of
worst.
us
I have it
because
the worst.
his team every single year going into the season.
It's our year.
Since Dak took over, they've been saying it's our year. It's our year. We're going to Super Bowl this year.
In my respect, I don't actually go around every single year saying, "Oh, we're going to Super Bowl." I'm like, I hope we go to the Super Bowl.
A lot of Cowboys
why
fans
would
say
you-
they're going to the Super
A
Bowl.
lot of Cowboys fans do say that. You know, I don't
They're
go around
dumbasses.
saying we go to the Super Bowl this year. I say, hey, like we are a pretty good team this year. I'd like to see us go to the Super Bowl. We'll see what happens. But I always predict other teams going to the Super Bowl. You know, so I didn't predict the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl last year.
To be fair, I didn't say specifically him. I just said he had it worse than me and Justin.
But yeah,
I mean,
I am
Justin-
associated with a crowd that does do that.
Justin has had it the easiest out of all of us his entire fucking time since
Entire
Since
life.
I've been
His
alive.
entire life.
since he's been a bandwagon Patriots fan.
There it is. I was waiting for that. Wait, say it.
Not a bandwagon.
That's not what I was trying to get you to say.
No?
What's the name of the show?
Oh, whatever, man.
Doesn't even remember the name of the show.
I was like, what? It took me a second because I was like, what show? And then I was like, oh, this show.
This show.
You should say-
Specifically.
But, yeah, I've had it really good. That's why I never complained and anything about it. Now, I hope, we still have a pretty good defense. We lost a lot of people, but I hope that we tank a little because
Do you
we
know?
need to.
Do you know? I'm sorry to cut you off, but do you know who your starting quarterback is right now?
Jared Stidham.
Nope.
No.
Brian Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer, he signed
Oh,
another
yeah,
deal.
they did
Yeah, I just
sign
saw that,
Brian
yeah.
Bandwagon
But,
Patriots fan.
but listen, no,
He
it wasn't
Brian Hoyer's
confirmed
back.
that Brian Hoyer was the starting quarterback. He's
not
back
gonna
for
be.
like the fourth or what. Right now, the starting
Just-
quarterback
He keeps
is
coming back.
Jarrett Stidham.
Should have been Jimmy G.
It should have been Jimmy G.
Rest in peace.
But he is. But we'll see with the draft what the Patriots do there. If they don't get
They need to get a quarterback.
if they don't draft a quarterback, or if they don't sign a free agent quarterback, then the starting quarterback right now is Jared Stidham.
I've been reading a lot that a lot of people believe that if the beginning of the season does not go well for the Patriots, they will tank to try to get Trevor Lawrence next year.
That's what I was gonna lead up to. 'Cause that's why I was like, I hope they tank because they can go one or two ways. There's rumors, it's not saying it's 100% going to happen, but Deshaun Watson, he's obviously not happy in Houston, so maybe they can go for him in a trade or something. I'm not saying it's gonna happen.
I don't think that's going to
But
happen.
I'm just trying to get my hopes up.
Well, Maurice Jones-Drew, he actually, I just looked at an article, thinks that the Patriots are going to pick up Jalen Hurts in the draft, QB.
Yeah, I know Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, so
He's
from
cool.
Oklahoma. So
Who?
Jalen Hurts.
No, what team's gonna pick him up?
Patriots. Like that's one of the mock drafts that's set up right now. Maurice Jones-Drew thinks that the Patriots are gonna pick up Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is not going to be there for when you guys have a pick.
Well, that's what he's thinking. Like I'm not sure if that's gonna happen.
You
or
think
not,
he's gonna
but
get taken before?
Hell yeah! Because
He's a
what
good
pick do you guys
QB.
have?
20
or something like that.
Hell yeah! No, man, that kid Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I'm thinking of somebody else.
You might be thinking of Jordan Love
He might be thinking of somebody like
or Tua
Justin
Tagovailoa.
Herbert or Tua
Burrows.
Tagovailoa, whatever.
Joe Burrow. He's gonna be first.
Joe
Yeah.
Burrow is slated according to this
Jalen
mock
Hurts,
draft,
yeah.
5th by the
Someone
Dolphins.
says Justin Herbert. What? That's stupid.
Yeah, someone thinks that the Bengals are going to pick up. No, Maurice Jones-Drew thinks the Bengals are going to pick Justin.
They basically
Herbert.
said that they were going to get Joe Burrow. But anyway,
Anyway,
In the mock draft that I saw, analysts are saying that the Jets are going to pick up a wide receiver, and
well, Robbie Anderson's no longer there.
and I'm like,
he's not.
who's Rob Anderson?
Hmm?
Who's Rob Anderson? Oh, Robbie Anderson.
Bandwagon fan.
Wow!
Nobody calls him Rob Anderson.
I said
okay?
Robbie Anderson. We'll play it back.
He did say Robbie.
Whatever, I heard Rob.
I can't wait for post-production. I'm
He
gonna repeat
did
that.
say-
I'm literally going to, right here.
Mm.
Well, Robbie Anderson's no longer there. And then you're going to be like, what the hell?
What the hell?
There it is. Maurice Jones-Drew thinks they're going to pick up a offensive tackle.
Again.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but because they just have a $40 million
His
salary
draft is
offensive
kind of
line.
whack, actually.
It's really all over the place.
Kind of
So
What does he have? Oh, to the Dolphins, and he has Tua going to the Chargers.
I could see that happening.
Honestly, if I were the Patriots right now, I would gamble and go after Cam Newton.
I don't think Bill Belichick would tolerate his sassiness. So if Cam Newton does go to the Patriots, he won't last long.
You can say all you want about Cam Newton's sassiness, but he is no Antonio Brown.
Yeah, no one's in Antonio Brown.
No, Antonio Brown is his own league. I think he wanted to stand out in his own way.
I wouldn't be mad if they picked up Cam. I just don't know.
Antonio Brown was training with the Ravens the other day.
Was it?
I think that
That'd be crazy.
to put you guys in the best position for next year would be to take on I'm having a stupid moment right now.
Not
Cam
quite
Newton. I would say pick up Cam Newton, give him like a 1-year deal, and say, show us what you got. Because he's not old. He doesn't have super significant injuries. Last year he got hurt and he was done for the whole season. But they had pretty much given up on him at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the Panthers pretty much gave up on Cam after they lost in the Super Bowl.
He had an amazing year that year, and I predicted that the following year he was not going to have a good year compared to the previous year.
Yeah,
I was like, no one knows how to defend him right now. Give them the offseason to look at the tapes. The defensive coordinators are going to destroy him the following season. And guess what happened? He has not had a good season since.
Weren't they like the first team to that go to the Super Bowl and not make it to the playoffs the next season?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Speaking of playoffs, did you hear about the expanding postseason? We talked about it the other day.
Yeah. They're going to add an additional team from each division, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. NFL owners all approved that a couple days ago.
So
I think
top 2 teams
14
from
games?
each division can...
Yeah, something like
wow.
that. I think it's just more wild card games. New format. So AFC, NFC wild card games featuring 2 seed hosting, 7th seed and 3rd seed hosting, the 6th seed and the 4th seed hosting the 5th seed. So it's gonna be a lot more games.
It's gonna be
14 teams total.
hell of a lot more games.
Mm-hmm.
Hell of a lot more teams.
Yeah, even the NBA was talking about have a 14 seed playoff.
NBA,
NBA.
14 seed.
NFL, also
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm guessing they're gonna merge
I know
the
you're
two
switching into the
conferences,
NBA.
or because if they're doing both conferences, then there's only gonna be like one team that's not gonna make it to the playoffs. So I'm guessing they're.
No, because there's 32 teams in the NBA.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking NFL. But still, anyway, there is only what? On camera.
One
I'm
day.
confused. I don't know where you're going with this.
I lost my train of thought. But still, there's only gonna be like a few teams that are not gonna make it to the playoffs.
Are you talking about NFL or NBA?
NBA.
Now you're talking about NBA. Okay.
There's still only gonna be a few teams. I was thinking NFL because they have 30, but
Yeah.
because it was the segue, it was like we're still talking about that.
We're
But
talking-
anyway,
We're talking about cats.
There's a. Yeah, so like, oh man, this looks crazy insane.
Only the 1990 Dallas Cowboys would have made the playoffs with a losing record over that span in a 14-team format. Wow. Losing record 1990.
Wow.
man,
I was 3.
I was not born.
hey man,
Yeah, you were.
What year was it?
1990.
Oh, yeah, I was 1.
I was not born.
Or turning 1.
Anyways, so you said the NBA 14 seed, they're doing something like that too? They're changing up their playoffs?
Yeah, because they don't believe that they're going to be able to finish the rest of the season. So they're doing this new format so that way they can get more teams in and just have it. They think it's going to be more exciting.
is it just for this season or is it?
They're potentially looking at making it permanent, but
Their trial.
so it's going to be a trial thing as of right now.
I think with the NBA, their system's fine right now. There's a little questionable things with the division thing, like sometimes that gets switched up, but I think it's the best playoff system.
I think the reason why I would personally be against it is because the NBA plays series, just like the MLB.
Yeah.
7-game series, best out of 7.
A lot of games.
That's a lot of games, and that's a lot of teams. So it just doesn't make sense. I mean, the NFL, I don't think it's a big deal because the NFL is a one game,
done. Yeah,
one and
One and done.
But
To me, that's what's more exciting if it's one and done. You know? It sucks, like, hey, like, if you lose in the NBA, like, you got the next game, you can still make it up, and then the next game after that, potentially, you know, out of 7. Same thing with baseball, which, you know, is cool in its own respect, but I like where it's just like, you're on your edge of your seats, like, this is one and done. Like, I only get one shot, you know?
They both have their pros and
I
cons.
mean,
The game layout, yes. The other layout, you know, where it's the seeds and it's like the first seed, the 6th seed, all that random stuff, and you know, like top division, you could have a losing record and still make it to the playoffs. Like, I don't necessarily agree with that, but you know, I like the NBA's where it's like you have to have a good record.
yeah, like I like how the NBA does it, where the top 8 records go to the playoffs from each conference. It doesn't matter what division you're in, as long as your records in the top 8. I'm actually trying to look up right now what I'm talking about because I don't remember.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't remember the specifics of the format that they talked about. But I think the reason why I can't find it is because nothing has been set in stone right now. I mean, the system would be great theoretically if you looked at the way things are going right now. My Knicks still wouldn't make it to the playoffs. So it doesn't really matter. But I just think it's too many teams for a 7-game series. What I think actually should be done, and let's see if you agree with me with this one, Justin.
Okay.
If they were going to switch it to that kind of format, imagine how many brackets there are, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the first portion of the playoffs, so let's say it's round 1. Let's say it's 3 rounds, and then you make it to the finals.
Yep.
In round 1, I think it should be best of 3.
Shorten it up.
Round 2 should be best of 5. And round 7 in the finals should be best of 7.
I think that would be awesome.
I agree with that because, you know, like you said, there's so many teams and there's going to be so many games. So, you know, cut it back a little bit, less games. So it's just like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'd be more down to watch that. And then
Yeah, because it's kind of like with baseball, for example, the way they changed. The one thing that I do hate about baseball is the new restructured playoff. Is that the way they changed it is we will never again see a Yankees Red Sox ALCS. And that makes me very angry as a Yankee fan because those ALCS were everything when I was a kid. Watching the Yankees and the Red Sox battle to see who goes to the World Series was everything.
It
was essentially our World Series.
That's history right there, like longest rivalry out there. It's like,
but when they did the whole wild card thing, because what they did is they added one additional wild card. So each conference gets 2 wild card teams that go to a 1-game playoff, and then that team plays the number 1 seed from each conference in a 7-game series. So I mean, they could do something like that, but it's so much to rely on just one game. Because with football, I guess you could do the same thing. In football, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing like a 3-game series, but it's unrealistic because the damage that's done to these athletes' bodies in football is a lot more detrimental than basketball or baseball. I mean, yeah, a dude can get hit in the face with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but a lot of these guys are wearing masks now, so they don't. That stuff doesn't happen. But in the NFL, you got bodies hitting bodies, helmets hitting helmets.
It's more dangerous.
It doesn't make sense to do that in the NFL.
But they expanded the amount of games, which is pretty crazy because of the injuries and stuff. I'm surprised
and then it would take forever too. Whereas with basketball and baseball, you have back-to-back days of games. You get 2 games back-to-back, then you get 1 day off. They go to the other team's city. They play 2 games there. Then they go back 1 game.
Yeah, and they switch pitchers, right?
Yeah, that, and it's not like in football, you don't have a quarterback for every day of the week. You got one quarterback.
And sometimes
that dude's arm is going to get destroyed.
Sometimes in basketball, too, some your all-star players don't play the entire game so they can sit a couple times until the playoffs. That's why when they expand the playoffs, they'll be in every single game.
That's called load management. And we can segue into load management because it is a big topic in the NBA. I know Sal doesn't know too much about it.
I'd like to know. Educate me.
So load management is essentially resting your star players.
Yeah. That I knew about.
And it is frowned upon in the NBA. That's why they changed it from resting to load management.
Just change the name of it to make it sound better.
But the reason why the commissioner of the NBA came down so hard on these teams about load management is because you have these fans that pay hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars to come see their favorite player, and they get to the game and they don't play. That's worse, man.
Yeah.
That was a problem a couple years ago.
I never
or a few years
about
ago,
that.
something like that.
I remember a few years ago that being an issue.
It was a big issue because
so you got dudes like Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is a huge advocate for load management because he takes games off. Well, pretty much it seems like whenever he feels like it. Kawhi Leonard is a great player, but in the NBA of the past, nobody sat out games. If they were healthy, they went out there to play. Mm-hmm. But now, it seems like players are like, you know what? I'm going to a team where there's enough talent where I can take a couple of days off, and the team will still be fine. That's not what we want to see. We want to see top level athletes perform every day.
Mm-hmm.
Accurate.
Because they're just resting, just like when they feel like it. It's just like, oh, I'm just gonna rest, not because you're hurt, or like, well, sometimes it is, but like.
And some people will say, well, they're human beings; they deserve to get rest days. I'm like, they get an entire off season to rest,
and they're playing basketball, which is their job. So it's just like,
and it's their job, and they also get a ton of money to play that sport.
It's a tough sport.
No excuses.
And conditioning and everything like that, you know? So.
But they get paid to condition. They get paid to work out. They get paid to be in that physical fitness level.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, like they're up there, you know? Like, that's what they're doing for a living, and that's what they train to do, and that's what they've done all their lives. So now it's time to, like, put up or shut up, you know?
Yeah, like LeBron James doesn't like missing games unless he absolutely needs to because he's not healthy enough to play. He wants to be in there. And every athlete should have that mindset. It's like Giannis Antetokounmpo. You can't tell that guy to take a day off because he wants to be out there. He wants to win.
Is that the young kid?
Bucs.
Yeah, he's on the Bucs. He's like, without shoes on, he's 6'11". With shoes on, he's 7
The Greek freak.
feet.
He's the one that was, like, 16.
No, that's Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic, okay.
Yeah, Luka Doncic.
See, I'm still learning basketball.
Yeah. So you got Giannis Antetokounmpo who came into the league.
You can say that 3 times fast.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Whatever, man.
Got him.
Giannis came in and he's just a freaking stud. The guy went from this tall, lanky kid who didn't seem like he would be able to dribble nothing, would probably be a one-trick pony and just be able to post up in the paint and maybe get a couple of buckets and rebounds. No, that kid's turned into just a magic show. You show up to the arena, you're going to see something amazing out of this kid. And he's starting to develop his jump shot, which he hasn't had in his arsenal before. But a lot of people were saying that he's not going to be able to do anything else. He's not going to be able to take over the throne, per se, because a lot of people say he's next in line when LeBron James retires, which I personally agree with.
Yeah.
I agree with because he is a crazy, super freak athlete. The dude takes 3 steps and he can go from half court to the rim in 3 steps.
And it's not just because he's tall. It's just like he's very athletic.
Yeah.
Is that legit? Like 3
James
steps?
Harden.
Or are you exaggerating?
I'm probably exaggerating a little bit.
But his Euro
it's-
step's crazy.
His Euro step is ridiculous. Like him and James Harden were going at it, Twitter beefing.
Still going at it.
Still going at it because
Not surprised.
Giannis had said that his game plan going into the end of the All-Star game this year was to pass the ball to whoever James Harden was guarding because James Harden doesn't play defense. That's a lie. I mean, he does get a little relaxed on defense because he's so heavy loaded on the offensive side. But I have seen him play defense, so it's not too bad. I just think he needs to be more dedicated to it. But let's be real. James Harden's not trying to go out there and get Defensive Player of the Year. He's trying to get the MVP because he's an offensive superstar. Yeah. He's this generation's assassin killer like Michael Jordan and Kobe. And I'm not saying athletic-wise, I'm saying scoring-wise. Because this guy, he literally is a creative player that just scores the basketball. And I hate his step back.
His double step back, which is a travel.
Yeah. People were like, it's not a travel. I don't care what you say, man. I'm watching that thing. They're like, oh, but it's the way he's gathering the ball during the step. It doesn't count. I'm like, it's a travel. It's a travel.
We'll have to debate that by looking at it. Some tapes or something.
I agree with Manny. It's definitely a travel. Because
I've never seen it, personally. But
I'm
definitely going to want to see it now.
It's not just a step back.
No?
No. I used to, because you can't tell in-game because he does it fast. But, once you actually look at it, then it's just like, oh, clearly that's... And then you start to notice it, in the game. And it's like, oh, okay.
And the refs don't, do anything about it because it's too fast or they just don't care?
I think it's because he's just a superstar.
Manny's about to pull it up right now.
Yeah. The fact that he's a superstar, it's like, they're not going to call it.
Yeah, maybe not. People get away with a lot of stuff sometimes.
He has a lot to prove because he can't win it all. He can't go to the finals.
He's just that guy that just scores.
Yeah, watch.
What the heck is that? What the heck is that? What?
Clearly.
And the ref just looking at him like, no big deal.
I will say that shot, like when he just looks at him,
That was
is still impressive.
That was 3 steps, but he had the ball gathered already.
Mm-hmm.
He can't move once he has the ball gathered.
His pivot foot was like neither.
And the ref was looking at him the whole time.
I'm like, what? How is that not a travel?
And then he slid his foot again.
Mm-hmm. Well, say when he
And
looked
it's
at him and then shot it, that
right
was actually impressive.
Wow.
That part was impressive, but
I mean, yeah, that's impressive. But
No,
step
you want
back.
to know why this is not impressive to me?
Why?
Because every single time James Harden does that, he pushes off with his right hand. You can't do that. That's a foul. That's an offensive foul. You cannot push off. You see, that's why he
'cause
tripped.
pushed him, yeah.
Because he pushed him.
Mm-hmm. I was just saying the shot. Like when he
Oh,
actually
yeah,
made
the
it.
shot.
That
Well,
is impressive.
that's why I said this guy's like a cheat code. He's a sniper, man. He can shoot the ball like there's nobody else.
Yeah.
But the way he's able to make space is not right.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets away with that?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
He gets away with a lot, and he draws a lot of fouls.
He draws a ton of fouls,
Well,
and that's
he
actually
plays
where he
a lot,
gets
too.
his most of his points.
Free throw line?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think at one point he was averaging like 22 attempts per game at the free throw
It's all
line.
strategy. He does it on purpose. He knows.
Oh, he knows. He
Oh,
knows.
yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely on purpose.
There's no debate to that because everybody talks about it.
That's honestly why I have a hard time watching Rockets games because it's a lot of that, a lot of isolation, a lot of just like that's why you probably wouldn't be able to watch Rockets games because every time like I see you watching a basketball game, it's usually the Rockets because they're
I'm
just
like, oh god.
yeah, like
Yeah.
that one game. It was Game 7 against the Warriors,
Mm-hmm.
and the Rockets shot like 0 for something for 3.
There's another one right there. Dribble, step.
Yep.
That's 3 steps. That's 3. Oh my god. I can't right now. I don't know. But, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast right now, let us know your thoughts on the James Harden double step back, triple step back, all the steps back. Let us know your thoughts on the NBA playoff changes, the NFL playoff changes, and WWE. So like WrestleMania, like Roman Reigns stepping back. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, give us a tweet, give us a DM, give us a comment, such like that. But at this time, we're about to head out of here. About to sign off and do our little plug-ins. So this is at SileStyles87, Instagram, Twitter.
At Manny Beeston on Instagram, at Manny Beeston _, at Twitter.
That's only going on Fail Fridays. Huh?
Oh, I can't wait to make that video of Manny. All the messed up lines.
I'm excited.
It's going to be so good.
At JDAngel _ on Instagram. And that's all
Alright.
I do.
All right, guys. We're signing off.
Deuces.
Whatever.
Whatever, man.